Ah, muy bien, gracias por venir a mi canal. Yo soy Jonathan, el jefe aquí. Okay, I'm just joking. But let's go ahead and today what we're going to be talking about is the command form, right? Wait, I know I already made a video on the command form, but this is going to be more specifically for irregular verbs. So we have these verbos irregulares en el imperativo. Remember, imperative means command form, imperativo. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I want to start off where we always start off, and that is with the subject pronouns. But remember, when we're talking about the imperative, there's only certain subjects when it comes to who you're commanding. So if you command somebody to do a verb, technically they are the subject of the verb, even though you are commanding them to do it. And so you have, this is what I covered in the last video. You can go back and watch it more and get the more details about this. But basically, you can't command in the yo form, and you can't command in the el or ella form, nor can you command in the ellos or ellas forms of the verb, because you can only command the people who you are directly talking to, so you can't command in the third person. And if you're going to command yourself, you'll probably do it like in the to form. I don't know, maybe you'll do it in the usted form, but I don't know, probably be in the to form. So if we want to just recap really fast what we had last time, so we don't forget, I'll just put it up here. So this basically is for positive commands, and so for positive regular verbs, that is, for regular verbs, if it's a positive command, if it's an AR verb, in the to form, it just goes to an A. If it's an ER or an IR, it goes to an E. If it's an usted command, then the letter switches, just like all the rest of them, they all switch, except for the vosotros, in which case you put like a D at the end, unless it's reflexive, in which case, if there's time at the end of this video, I might talk a little bit about that. But AR goes to AD, ER goes to ED, IR goes to ID. And so once again, you can check out the other video that I made on that. Actually, let me make this a little bit bigger, and I might be able to stick the other one right underneath of it, and then we can move on. And then, okay, the other one, if I put it like right here. There we go. And then the negative ones are like this. And so with the negative, they all switch. And so if you have, so remember, this is just copying the format. So here's the format. Normally it has these lines like that, right? And so here's the lines. And so this is just copying that, just like these are blown up versions that are also copying it. And then there's this one for the negative commands. And so if it's a negative command, the letter always switches. The AR verbs always go to an E, and the ER and the IR verbs always go to an A. So please go back and check out the regular command form video that I made, or the command form for regular AR, ER, IR verbs, and you can learn more about that. In this video, I want to talk about the irregular commands, or well, irregular verbs in the command form. So for to, in the to form, it's going to look like these guys here. So these are the verbs that tend to be irregular in the command form. You have Ser, se, poner, pon, tener, ten, salir, sal, venir, ven, ir, ve, decir, di, hacer, haz. And then if it's a negative to command, then it looks a little bit more like it would in the yo form of the verb. So you have like, in the yo form, ser is actually soy, right? Yo soy Jonathan. I am Jonathan. And so it's sea or seas, no seas. So the to form is always going to have an S at the end in the negative commands. But in the positive commands, it doesn't. Se, pon, ten, sal, ven, ve, di, haz. No seas, no pongas, no tengas. Notice that pongas is very similar to the yo form. Poner, yo pongo. Tener, yo tengo. Salir, yo salgo. Venir, yo vengo. Ir, yo voy. Has a Y, yo voy. Decir, yo digo. Hacer, yo hago. That's what it would be in the yo form. But now, since it's a negative to command, we say no seas, no pongas, no tengas, no salgas, no vengas, no vayas, no digas, no hagas. And so these are copying the yo form for the present indicative of the verb. And that's what all of the rest of them tend to do. All of the rest of them, when I say them, I'm referring to all of the rest of the subjects. And so let me put those up here as well. So this would be another subject if it's usted. If it's usted, it's a positive command. We say sea, ponga, tenga, salga, venga, vaya, diga, haga. Or if it's a negative, you just simply put the word no in front of it. And so if it's still an irregular usted command, I'll put it right underneath of it. No sea, no ponga, no tenga, no salga, no venga, no vaya, no diga, no haga. The good news about this is these are verbs that we use all of the time. And so while it seems like all of these irregularities are hard to learn, it's only, these 7 verbs basically, and other verbs that are similar to these verbs that, like tener, con tener means to contain. It's going to have the same conjugation. So verbs like that are going to conjugate exactly the same way. And so because we use these verbs all the time, they become part of who we are, right? Because we use them all the time. You just, with the frequency that we use them, it becomes easy to remember them. So because we use them all the time, just due to frequency. All right. So here it is with ustedes. If it's ustedes, basically it's the same thing. Only now we're putting an N at the end. And what do you think it's going to be for negative usted? Yeah, you just put the word no in front of it. I'll put this right here, and then I'll put the negative one right here. So now we just put the word no in front of it. No sean, no pongan, no tengan, no salgan. What about nosotros? Well, guess what? It's going to be exactly the same. Nosotros. So running out of space, let's just go over here. Nosotros. So seamos, pongamos. tengamos. So we're putting an amos at the end, but it's still following the same pattern that we've seen with all the rest of them. The only ones that are different is just the to form, right? So the two positive commands are the only ones that are slightly different. But all the rest of them, whether positive or negative, are going to be the same. Except for vosotros. So tú and vosotros, but we haven't talked about vosotros yet. We'll get there. Okay. So now let's talk about vosotros. If we're talking about vosotros, which you might need to know if you ever go to Spain, or if you have like a Spanish professor, or if your friends are from Spain, you might need to know these. Right? So, for the most part, you just put a D at the end. Okay? Sed de buen ánimo. Sed de buen ánimo. Be of good cheer. Poned las llaves sobre la mesa. Tened, salid, venid, id, and etc. But over here, we have basically the same thing that we've seen everywhere else. No seáis, no pongáis, no tengáis, no salgáis. So these ones are also copying the yo form, just like all the other ones. So not too bad, huh? Okay. So since it looks like there is a little bit of time, I want to show you this before we do our exercise. And this just has to do with vosotros. So basically, poner, it becomes poned. If it's reflexive, like it has a reflexive pronoun at the end, like you say ponerse el abrigo, to put on your coat, you say it reflexively. Go back and watch my reflexive video, and it talks a little bit more about how verbs can be used reflexively. If it's being used reflexively in a vosotros affirmative command, then you say poneos. Well, that's one way to do it, poneos. And also with nosotros. So here's what it says: nosotros and vosotros have a disappearing last letter to accommodate the reflexive pronoun when attached to the end of the verb in positive commands. So poned, that D right there, can disappear to accommodate the reflexive pronoun os. Poneos, poneos, poneos el abrigo. Put on the jacket. Just like pongamos means like let's put on, or let's put. In this case, pongámonos. So this S right here, it disappears to accommodate for this reflexive pronoun nos. Pongámonos, pongámonos. Same thing with ir. Normally you say like vamos. You say vámonos, vámonos. And there's other ways to say this. You can say vayamos, vayámonos, but this is the more common way to say it. Either way, vamos normally has like an S right there, right? Vamos, vamos, nos, we get rid of the S, vámonos. And then also sometimes the D for vosotros is turned back into an R for positive reflexive pronouns, like in the command form, I mean to say there. So idos is iros, and that's common as well. So you may or may not need to know some of this stuff here, but I thought I'd put it there for the fun of it. Let's go ahead and do some exercises. And so I will put up the instructions first. So command form exercise. Conjugate the verb to the command form in accordance with who is being commanded. So follow the model. No ser ustedes tan groseros. That means don't be so grosero means rude. Don't be so rude. No sean tan groseros. Don't be so rude. So ser ustedes, it's a no command, a negative command. So we say no sean because it's the ustedes form, tan groseros. All right. Now let's see if you guys can figure out number one. No irse tú. What do you think the answer is going to be? It's going to be no. It's a reflexive pronoun. So where does the reflexive pronoun go? When it's irse, it has to be no. Te, it has to go before the conjugated verb. And then ir. No ir, tú. It's the tú form. We know it's going to end in an S. Voy, vayas. Vayas. No te vayas. Don't go. No te vayas. All right, now let's do number two. Poner tú la ropa en la canasta. Put, and it's telling you who's doing it, you, in the tú form, la ropa, the clothing, en la canasta, in the basket. And so we copy it and we paste it, right? What do we do here? We say capital P, pon. Pon la ropa en la canasta. Yep, pon. All right, now we have tener ustedes un buen día. Have a good day, you guys, ustedes. So what does that turn into? Tener ustedes. Remember, the yo form of tener is tengo. This is the ustedes form. And so you have tengas, right? Tenga. Tenga. Tengan. No tengan. Tengan. It's all about tengo, tenga, tengan, tengamos, right? No tengamos. It's going to be a tenga one. So what one is it going to be? We go over here. Ustedes. Tengan. So that's what it has to be. So we say tengan. Get rid of all that. Tengan un buen día. There it is. Tengan un buen día. Have a good day, you guys. All right, a little bit faster. Let's just do these. So number 4. Salir usted de aquí. What's it going to be? Well, it turns out it's going to be in the usted form. See if you guys can figure it out before I type it. Salir, salgo, salga. Salga usted de aquí. Get out of here, usted. You. Get out of here. Sal. Sal de aquí in the tú form. Sal de aquí. Hacer. For number 5. Now we're doing hacer. Hacer tú los deberes. Hacer in the tú form. You guys remember what it was? Right here. Irregular two positive commands. Hacer is as. These you just have to commit to memory. So we say as Los deberes. Haz los deberes. Do the duties or chores or whatever it is, errands. Do them. You. Decir nosotros la verdad. La verdad means the truth. Decir nosotros la verdad. What's the yo form of decir? Well, the yo form happens to be digo. Remember, the letter changes. Diga. And it's nosotros, mos. Digamos la verdad, right? Digamos. Digamos la verdad. No tener nosotros en cuenta las evidencias en contra del acusado. El acusado, in a court of law, el acusado would be the defendant. No tener en cuenta is an idiomatic expression with the verb tener, meaning to take into account. In English, we use the word to take, which in Spanish typically translates into tomar. Tomar en cuenta is not the expression that we use in Spanish. In Spanish, we say tener en cuenta. So, no tener en cuenta las evidencias, the evidences, en contra, against, en contra del acusado, the defendant. Let's not take them into account, the evidences against the defendant. Why not? I don't know why, but how would we say it grammatically correct? We would say no with the capital N. Tener, nosotros, in the yo form, it's tengo, but now we have to change the letter, ER verb, so it goes to an A, tenga, and it's the nosotros form, tengamos. No tengamos en cuenta las evidencias en contra del acusado. Let's not take into account the evidences against the defendant. Sounds like a good idea. Okay. 8. Ser tú responsable, por favor. Ser tú responsable, por favor. That is an irregular to command for ser. So what is that one? Do you remember? Say. Say. Are you going to get it mixed up with saber? Yo say? No, because that wouldn't work. I know responsible, please. Doesn't make sense. So we know that it's ser. Say. It's a to command. So we say, capital S, sé responsable, por favor, be responsible. Por favor means please. Be responsible, please. All right, number 9. No ser tú tan responsable. No me gusta. No ser tú. So now if it's the no ser and it's the to form, it's no seas. No seas. No seas tan responsable. What does tan mean? It means like so responsible. Don't be so responsible. No me gusta. I don't like it. So we say, no seas. No seas tan responsable. No me gusta. Don't be so responsible. I don't like it. That would be grammatically correct. And we have number 10. No poner tú el trapo en la cocina. Poner tú lo en el balcón. El trapo, what is a trapo? Anybody know? A trapo is a mop or a rag, un trapo. So don't put it in the kitchen. Put it on the porch. Put it on the porch. All right, you can remember balcón means porch because it kind of sounds like balcony. Okay. So we say no poner. It's going to be no. What's it going to be? No pongas. No pongas. It's in the two form. Pongo, pongas. No pongas el trapo en la cocina. Then it says poner tú. It's going to be pon lo. So what do we have to do? Pon lo. Look, there's a pronoun here. If there's a pronoun, it's going to be attached to the end of the verb because it's a positive command. So we get rid of that space. Ponlo en el balcón. Put it. Lo refers to el trapo. Ponlo en el balcón. I'm going to make another video on reflexive pronouns and direct object pronouns and indirect object pronouns and their placement coming up next. So that'll probably be the next video I make. All right, there might not be enough room. So let's just go to the next board. There's a couple more I want to do that will have some pronouns. Let me just put them all on here all at once. All right. Ponerse nosotros a trabajar. What's it going to wind up being? Yep, that's right. It will be pongámonos. Whoops. Pongo, right? Pongo, ponerse nosotros. So it's pongamos, pongamos. And then the se part right here, that's a reflexive pronoun. It has to be stuck to the end. Pongamos se, right? No, not pongamos se. The reflexive pronoun for nosotros happens to be nos, right? It'll be nos. And so we have to put pongamos nos. But what do we have to do with that S to accommodate for this reflexive pronoun? We have to get rid of it. Pongámonos. And where is the emphasis? Pongámonos. I still haven't made a video on the accents, but wherever the emphasis is in the pronunciation is where you put the accent, unless it's on the second to last syllable, unless, of course, the word ends in a consonant other than D or S, in which case you have to put it on the second to last syllable, even if it is on the second to last syllable, or you just put it wherever it is. So, but I'll make a detailed video on that. Pongámonos a trabajar. Let's get to work. Pongámonos a trabajar. All right. No ponerse nosotros a trabajar. Es muy tarde. Let's not get to work. It's very late. So what do we have to do here? We say no, capital N. Ponerse, we're going to use the same as the positive. We say no pongamos, right? But there's going to be some differences. No pongamos, it's a negative command. So we can't have this nos right here. We have to get rid of it. But we have to put it somewhere. Where do we have to put it? No nos, right? No nos pongamos. No nos pongamos a trabajar. No nos pongamos a trabajar. Es muy tarde. No nos pongamos a trabajar. Let's not get to work. It's very late. All right. Now what's this one going to be? Ir nosotros a la fiesta. Let's go to the party. Ir in the yo form is voy. Well, it's not quite voya in any other form. It's going to be vaya, right? Now it's nosotros vayamos. So we say vayamos. Vayamos a la fiesta. Technically, you can also say vámonos or you can say vamos a la fiesta, and that is kind of considered like a command in Spanish, but technically the imperative form of ir is vaya. So vayamos a la fiesta. Vayamos a la fiesta. And sometimes it can be used reflexively, especially when the destination, the desired destination, is not mentioned. Like in this example, number 14. So number 14, irse tú, we're saying go, you, go, like get out of here, go. And so we say, and this is a positive to command. Now these are the ones that you have to commit to memory. Ir is ve. So we say ve, vete. The reflexive pronoun for ir, or sorry, the reflexive pronoun for to is te, and the conjugation is ve. So we say ve. We can't say vese. We have to say vete in the to form. If it were the usted form, we would say váyase, 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 vete. Irse ustedes. So irse ustedes becomes váyanse. Remember, ustedes has the same reflexive pronoun as usted and also él and ella, but we don't use commands in the third person, so we don't worry about that. But it does have the same reflexive pronoun. So we say váyase. Váyanse because it's ustedes. Whoops, váyanse. Váyanse, and we have to have this accent mark. Oh, I spelled that wrong. It's with a Y. In Spanish, the double L, la L-ye, can also make a Y sound depending on what country you live in. So, irse, ustedes, váyanse. All right, number 16. No irse nosotros. Let's not go. Let's not go. So vaya, no. Irse, vaya. Nosotros, mos, vayamos, se has to be nos. But we can't have that S there, can we? We have to get rid of it. That's if it's a positive command, but this is a negative command, so we can keep the S, but we can't have the nos attached to the end. Where do we have to put it? Before the conjugative verb. No nos vayamos. Let's not go. No nos vayamos. No nos vayamos. ¿Quieren ir a la fiesta? Sí, yo quiero ir. No, no nos vayamos. Mejor quedarnos en casa. It would be better to stay at home. La policía va a llegar. The police are going to arrive. Yo lo sé. Pasa cada vez. I know, it happens every time. Okay. No irse usted. No se vaya. Right? No se vaya. So we say, no se vaya. No se vaya. No se vaya. And then what's this other one going to be? No me decir tú nada. Decir tú. It's a negative command. decir, digo, no digo, no diga, no digas, right? No digas, no digas nada. No me digas nada. So we say, no me digas nada. No me digas nada. No me hacer vosotros así. ¿Por qué me hiciste así? When you use the verb to a person, it's like saying, don't treat me like that, or you treat somebody a certain way. And so, no me hagas así would be like, don't do that to me, or don't treat me like that. No me hagas así. But this is vosotros. So what's it going to be? You would say, no me, because it's being done to you. And then hacer in the vosotros negative command form. Hago. Hago is the yo form of the present indicative. So that's the backbone of conjugation that we'll be using, but it's hacer, er verb, so it has to go to a, and it's vosotros hagáis, no me hagáis. And so we have to have this accent mark right here. No me hagáis así. No me hagáis así. No me hagáis así. All right. Ponerse vosotros la ropa. Put on your guys's clothing or get dressed, right? La ropa means clothing. Ponerse means to put on. So we say poner. What do we say? Poneos la ropa, ¿no? Poner. Poner. And then it's vosotros. The reflexive pronoun is os la ropa. You can say poneros la ropa, or you can say poneos la ropa. Okay, I'll accept either one. Muy bien. Si tienen preguntas, pueden ponerlas ahí abajo en los comentarios. Si quieren ver el resto de mis videos, yo tengo muchos y también siempre estoy haciendo más. Entonces, por ahora, chao y nos vemos en la próxima. Hasta luego. Nos vemos en unos cuantos y la mitad de un cuanto. Gracias.